So service before self is kind of after we talk about championship culture, excellence, accountability, constant and never-ending improvement. Then I think the next thing, if we were to keep going and keep extrapolating core value, would be service before self, leadership through service and serving other people. What do you think, Trisha?
Yeah, I'm excited to roll this clip.
Okay, go ahead.
People are paralyzed. I don't know my purpose. Well, your purpose is to enjoy your life, to grow, and to give. Like, everyone has different ways, but we all compare it sometimes. Is it enough? Is it strong enough? Is it big enough? What I found in my life is do what's in front of you with all your vigor, all your passion. Give the most you can. Focus on giving, not trying to receive, and you'll receive more than you could ever imagine. But the person who's always trying to get, nobody wants to deal with that person. Nobody wants to be around them. The secret to living is giving. It's just a habit. It's just like, let me find every day one person to start my day that I can sincerely compliment, no BS, find something great about them, or someone I could help who's in a worse case than I am. Could be something very little.
Okay, Trisha, so I'm gonna ask everybody at home to play a game with us, okay? We're talking about service before self. We're talking, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give us all the 6 human needs, okay? Now these, because we played a Tony Robbins clip and he's my guy, you can have, you can look at, I talk a lot about different structures of human needs. They all kind of say the same thing. They all really stem back to, not in the modern day Maslow, Abraham Maslow, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which self-actualization. Can we show a Maslow's hierarchy of needs graphic? Chelsea or Jordan, if you guys can pull that up for me. But self-actualization is at the top of the human needs. And then what Tony Robbins actually did was he took the 6 human needs kind of self-actualization. Right here's the Maslow's one. If you guys aren't watching this, you can watch this on YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. That's the channel that we're trying to grow. If you love the podcast, and I know so many of you listen on Apple. If you're listening or on Apple, please go to YouTube right now. Click subscribe so you can watch us, because we do like to show the screen and show you clips, and it can really add color into your experience here on the Burn Bootcamp podcast. But you can see Maslow's hierarchy of needs is physiological needs: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. You go up the pyramid here: safety, security. This is your health, right? This is your employment, your family, your social life, your property. Then love and belonging, the need to belong to something bigger than yourself, your friends, your family, your relationship, your sense of connection to others. Self-esteem, right? Now we're starting to get into what really matters. Now these top 2, self-esteem and self-actualization, are all about you and how you feel about yourself. And the reason they're most important is because you cannot connect with other people unless you first connect with yourself. So self-esteem and then self-actualization. And what Tony Robbins did was he took kind of 6 words, 6 human needs, and really added color to the top of this hierarchy here, okay? And they have translation into the whole pyramid here. But let's play this game. You ready to play? You're going to play along with me. You didn't know this was coming today. I'm throwing you a curveball, Trish, okay?
I love it.
All right, so, and I want you to play along at home, okay? If you're driving, please do not write these down. Just think about these. But if you do have the ability to write these down, I want you to write these down. And while you guys are in the studio, you guys can kind of do this for yourself too. I think this is really good for all of us to do here today. All right, so I'm going to first give you the 6 needs. You can write them all down, okay? Certainty. That's one human need, okay? Morgan has a very high level of certainty. She has a need for certainty. She's the CEO of the company. She needs to know the road ahead. Growth. Number 2, I have a high need for growth. We need to grow. We need to be doing. We need to be achieving. We need to be growing. Variety is number 3. You could think about this also as uncertainty, that need to not know what's around the corner. You're somebody that enjoys the spice of life. Number 4 is connection, belonging, connection with other human beings, belonging to something bigger than yourself. Tony just talked about number 5, contribution. That's what we're talking about here when we're talking about service before self. Contribution, your need to serve other people, your need to contribute back to your society. And number 6, significance. Okay, how important are you? How important is being important to you? We all want to feel important, but how important is it to you? So here's the list again. certainty, growth, variety, connection, contribution, significance. Everybody got it?
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to have you rank order these.
Okay.
Okay, which you are all of these,
Yep.
but which one are you the most? Okay, I'm gonna give everybody 20 seconds, 30 seconds here, go now, to rank order certainty, growth, variety, connection, contribution, significance. We'll cut this out on social media. You guys can do this on my Instagram is below. Comment below what human need in order do you need most? Certainty, growth, variety, connection, contribution, or significance. These are the 6 fundamental human needs. You have all of them, but which ones are you most? Which ones do you need the most? I'm going to go and give you guys mine right now. Trisha, I'm going to come to you next for yours, okay? Number 1, over everything, I need contribution. Number 1 for me is contribution. I am so grateful as a human being. This is just a part of me in my core, and it stems from the background that I grew up in. I am so grateful to be here with my 2 feet on the ground. Giving back to me is by far the most important thing. Number 2 is growth, because I know when I grow, I'm like Tony said, I'm going to have more to give back with. And that's what makes me really happy. This game was never about how much money Devin and Morgan can make. If that was the case, we would have sold Burn Bootcamp a long, long, long time ago when it was worth 9 figures. We aren't interested in that because our heart for contribution, Morgan and I both align on this, our heart for contribution is number 1. Our growth mindset is number 2. Okay, hers is different than mine and number 3. This is where we start to differ. I won't tell you hers. Mine, number 3, is variety. I love uncertainty. I don't want to know the road ahead. I want to create the road ahead. I want to have chaos. I love being in downtown New York City, you know, hearing the hustle and bustle of the city, or in Las Vegas, you know, where the city doesn't sleep and everything is chaotic around you. I'm very, very comfortable in the chaos. I love and I need variety. If you want me to breathe, if you want me to have oxygen in my life, then you have to give me variety. Because if things are too boring or mundane, I'll check out. Then for me, number 4 is connection. Connection is number 4. Certainty is number 5. And significance is number 6. Significance is the last one. I have a need to feel important, and I have a need to feel admired, because we all do. But I've learned over the years who I really am, and who I really am is somebody that had an ego early on, because we all have one. And as soon as I let my ego go, I realized how freeing that was to me, and how much I hated having an ego, or this need, this relentless need to have people, you know, like me. And like, I used to say things or do things that weren't in alignment with my core values, because I thought I needed to be the business influencer or have significance. And when I put all that down, such a weight off my shoulders. So those are my 6. What are your 6? Trisha.
It's so interesting. I'm glad you went first, because as you were talking, and I did pull them up so I can kind of have a little cheat sheet so I can think through it a little bit more. But mine would be, I was tossing between contribution and growth as my number 1, because I definitely need growth. But as I think about Trisha for the 38 years I've been alive, I would say it's more leans to contribution, because I think just until recently have I needed more of that growth. So I would say contribution first. I always definitely want to, and that's, you know, kind of going back to the earlier story of when my husband was asking me, you know, the tough love of my purpose, I wanted to help people. So contribution is number 1. Growth would be definitely number 2. And then I would need certainty, because I also like uncertainty, but I need the certainty to be established first. I'm very much a planner, and I love a plan, but I also like to be challenged. Like, throw a wrench in there, throw a curveball. So as long as I have a plan, I can take the curveballs all day long. So I would say certainty, uncertainty, connection, and then significance.
Okay, so we're very similar. We're very similar. There's a flip-flop of certainty and uncertainty.
Which doesn't surprise you, probably.
Right, no, it doesn't. And you know, these needs can change as you grow through time. And they might, because mine were, 10 years ago, mine were different because I was a different person, right? I'm a completely different person at 37 than I was at 27, and way different at like 37 than I was at 20.
Yeah.
At 20, I'm not sure you would even have liked me, Trisha, because I was a very cocky, arrogant baseball player who thought he knew everything, and I would have said growth over everything, hustle culture, bro. Like I was that kind of, but I grew out of that because that wasn't who I naturally was. And so I want you all to realize that who you are today is just this version of you today, and the version of you tomorrow is going to be different, right? It can't be the same. It can't plateau. You're either growing or you're dying as a human being. So we all, every year, you can think about it as like shedding your skin every year, and you become a new person with a new skin, and your needs will change. A big time when your human needs start to change and start to shift is when you have children. How many times I've seen this over, I know that children shift human needs. A lot of times people go from growth or maybe contribution or uncertainty, they go right up to connection, or they go right to certainty, because now they got somebody else in their life that changed their world, that changed them fundamentally as a human. And now all of a sudden, certainty around the corner is fundamental for me. I need to know how I'm going to live my life, pay my bills, feed my family, because now I've got this little human that I'm responsible for.